We all knew this day was coming. Kylian Mbappe will join Real Madrid in the summer. His mind is made up. This is crazy because Real Madrid now are going to have a front three of Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Kylian Mbappe, a midfield consisting of players like Fede Valverde, Brahim Diaz, Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, Tuanemi, Tony Kroos and Modric still possibly, then that team's stacked. That team is absolutely stacked. There's absolutely no flaws in that team, really. So this is pretty nuts. But PSG, they're gonna be losing a huge star, probably one of the biggest stars they've ever had, in Kylian Mbappe. And not only is PSG gonna suffer, so is the league. So PSG needs to get a replacement, and they have decided on who they want to make their replacement because PSG has began to accept that Kylian Mbappe will most likely leave and they need to bring in a big name replacement in order to fill that void. And they don't believe, Koulibaly, Dembele, any of those players are going to be able to fulfill his shoes. So they need to go out in the transfer window and buy someone, and that looks to be Rafael Leao, who they see as a good enough replacement to replace Kylian Mbappe when he leaves to join Real Madrid. Now, Rafael Leao has been phenomenal for the past 2-3 years, except this season. If you check the stats, he's fallen off a bit when it comes to the goal scoring. Only 3 goals, kind of low. 6 assists, is still up to par to what he does typically, but his goals have been down. He does have a couple in the Italian Cup. He also has a goal in the Champions League, but Leao's stats have dropped a bit. But there's still going to be a massive fee to be able to end up purchasing the Portuguese winger. The lad still has had great seasons, has led the line for Milan. He's won them a Serie A. And PSG obviously have a reputation of having big money, so I believe this is going to end up costing a minimum. I think best case scenario, if Laos continues to have a disappointing season, I could see it being as low as 80 million for Rafael Leao, and up to 120 million is the max that I could see PSG paying for Rafael Leao. And you might be saying 120 million for a guy who's only scored 3 goals. Yeah, but Milan could obviously try to get PSG to overpay due to how much he has left on his contract. Rafael Leao has signed a contract not too long ago, which has him staying for many years at Milan. And obviously it's going to take, a lot of money to be able to replace a guy like Rafael Leao, who has been very productive aside from this season, of course. But he is still one of the cornerstones at Milan, and not only is him leaving affect Milan as well, it can affect the Serie A because he's one of the faces there. So they're going to have to bring in a big name player from another league in order to fill that void, because I believe that's honestly a big problem at the moment in the world football, is that La Liga and you could argue La Liga and Premier League are the 2 leagues that are just taking up all the stars at the moment. Obviously the Bundesliga has a couple with like Harry Kane, but really the stars right now are at the Premier League and La Liga. And if Rafael Leao is leaving from Serie A to League One, I believe it shows some sort of power imbalance there, because who would be the face of the Serie A? Lautaro Martinez would be it. With no really other competitor, and I think Leao, the past seasons was one of the faces, and obviously rivaling Lautaro Martinez. But now if he ends up going to PSG, he's obviously going to be the face of League One, and to have that void take up the space that Kylian Mbappe once did. But this is a decent little signing for PSG if they do get it done. I believe he can go over there and do what Mbappe does is keep them competitive in the Champions League and continue to win the League One. I believe nothing really changes over there if they make this switch, and it's beneficial for PSG because now you don't really have to worry about Mbappe. You're still going to be winning League Ones, and you're still going to be competitive in the Champions League. And it does take a lot of pressure away from PSG because they're not going to have as much pressure as they did with Kylian Mbappe in the Champions League. With Mbappe in the Champions League, you are forced to win or it's a failure. Without him, now it's like, oh, if he gets to the semis, oh, if he gets to the quarterfinals, it's a successful season. And maybe you could overperform that because it's very dangerous to play a team with no expectations. They're playing with, they're playing for free, basically, you could say, as an example. But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. And do you think Rafael Leao could be a great replacement for Kylian Mbappe when he leaves to Real Madrid? But anyways, thank you guys for watching.